Just looking at these offline documents, yes. The World Intellectual Property Organization. Yeah. I want to know the employees of them. Yes. And then there's this thought that you're intentionally refusing to enforce my intellectual property rights. Yes. Now, how do I get that salt? Yeah. I'd have to desalinate some of the world's oceans. Poop. That would cause me to produce X number of billions, or what could be trillions of gallons of fresh water. Now, I've been wanting to put some individuals in prison for having any knowledge of the corruption of the state. Yeah, I'm going to be suing a lot of corporations, agencies, departments, and offices of the United States. Yes. For having any knowledge of forgery, fraud, kidnapping, felony. Yes. And then I'm going to sue them for refusing to protect my intellectual property rights. Now, these types of lawsuits, I'd probably employ a law firm. Yes. To explain to the world why it is that the United States doesn't protect the rights of citizens. Yes. When in good faith I emailed you. See, to get the casket, I have to desalinate the water. And when I desalinate the water, I have to produce the electricity. Yeah. And when I produce the electricity, I have to sell it. What am I going to do with all that electricity myself? Now, the individuals in the local police department that said, well, Paul's crazy. Do you know where I was at? Trademark law, definition of trademark, capable of distinguishing. Oh, now there's what's known as public interest, and balancing of rights. Yes. Is it in the public's interest to allow for an individual to put their body into a casket, that the body does not decay itself because they want to pay for a place to keep their non-decaying body? Yes. And do they have an emotional attachment to those that they love? Yes. That they would want them to be able to view their body after their death? I think they would. Now, I can look at all the funeral laws because I thought I was going to buy some cemeteries. It's been said that a dead body can hold an immense amount of electricity. Do you know of any dead bodies that you've been stuffing full of electricity after you put them in the ground? Yes, because you just wanted to run the living through the dead. Pooh. Nazis did a lot of experimentation with those that died in the concentration camps that weren't incinerated. What happens to a dead body when you connect it to the 220? Now, let's say that the county's been experimenting on the deceased. Yes. And the thought was, well, we'll run the electric grid through all these dead, decaying bodies and we'll sew it into the living so as to cause them the deadening effect of the diseased dead. Yep. Now, for me to find any part of the electric grid that was used to static the deceased, yes, so that you could pull their deceased brains into the living, yes, I would say that I'd sue you for that too. There should not be any citizen of the United States that would ever have their deceased, decaying body, yes, being connected to any electric supply, yes, so that you could sew the electricity in and you could cause a deadening effect on the souls of those that are living. Sure! Now, do you know of the electric grid in this county? Yes. Staticking, yes. Any of the cemeteries in Clallam County? Yes. Or did you decide to load up deceased individuals, connected them to the electric grid, put them in a coffin, and then you put them in the ground so that you'd run the electric grid through their dead bodies? You have any knowledge of that? Seemed to me that I've known some homeless people that were probably put on ice and you kept their brains working, but you ran the electric grid through them. Yep. And you brought them back to life. It's as if the want was to take the souls of those that are deceased, yes, and make them soulless beings, yes, where they have no conscious awareness of the crimes that they're involved with because their soul does not feel any remorse for any crime. Look at good and evil, little monster family. Pooh. Exactly. Oh, oh yeah. Let me see. Do I need to put one foot up on a bucket? Yeah. Do I? Did you run the electric grid through decaying human bodies with the intention of deadening? Yes, the souls. of men. Now, I'm going to want to sell these salt caskets. Yep. And I'm going to want to get paid. Yes. And then I'm going to want to patent. Yes. What is known as rights and public interest. Yep. I think it's in the public interest to increase the electricity supply. I think it's in the public's interest to increase fresh water. In fact, I think it's in the public's interest, yes, to make sure your electric grid doesn't run through any dead body. Excuse me. Do you have any knowledge of putting the electric grid, yes, through the dead bodies of those that are decaying? Did you do that? Well, as one of the living, I'm going to want to sue you for it. Oh, coffin. Coffin. You know, it's been said that you could use biological warfare through the electric grid if you sewed it in. Yes. I could take the diseased, dead individual. Yeah. I could put the electric grid through them. I could sew it into the physical bodies of the citizens. Yes. I could disease them and cause them to experience cancers. Yes. Various types of debilitating illnesses. In fact, if I sewed into an individual that died of Alzheimer's or dementia, yes, I could give that to any individual that I want. Do you know what I'm talking about? Am I upsetting you right now? Did you want me to represent myself as a self litigant, the citizen of the United States, where I question the chief of police?